Alright, what's going on guys, it's your boy Zilchi and welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best skills that you want to run for your Sung JINWOO. Before we talk about all of that stuff though, I want you guys to know that I do have a Discord server. It's going to be the pinned comment in this video. If you guys are interested in talking to me and just interacting with the community, definitely join that. I did make it yesterday and it's actually almost complete. It's not fully done, but we're going to be working on it a lot. For now, I have it public, so you guys can definitely join that. If you guys want to keep supporting me and just talk to me, definitely join. Also, if you guys have been enjoying the solo leveling Arise content, definitely hit the like button, comment, share it, subscribe it, and let's just hop straight into this video. Alright, so first off, we are at the skills section here. As you can see, there's a bunch of skills that JINWOO has here, and some of them are very good, and some of them are very not that good. Okay, they're pretty bad. So I'm gonna go over the best ones and then ones that are useful but not as useful as the best ones, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the very first skill, and I do think this is his most efficient skill, the best skill to use for him in terms of handling mobs and things like that, and that's going to be your commander's touch. So specifically the black hole, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit here. All of these Commander's Touch have a AoE skill, right? So if we just unequip, let me unequip the rune real quick because we're going to talk about that as well, right? So just the Commander's Touch alone, right? If you go ahead and take a look at the preview, this is what it does, okay? So it sucks them in and it pulls them down, right? So, and it does 911 damage of JINWOO's attack, cooldowns 15 seconds, MP consumption is 164. It inflicts the airborne, and when the final hit lands, it knocks him down. So that's exactly what you guys are seeing there. Again, this is good for mob control. All right, so a lot of these story modes, or in the story mode, a lot of the chapters, you need to handle mobs to beat. Like there's missions that says you need to beat it in a certain amount of time, and this skill saves you so much time. It's not even funny. Okay, like it does. I could show an example here, but I'm probably gonna have another video out later today on the story mode. I'm gonna be tackling the Kargalgan boss fight here. I did manage to get there. I saved it for a video for you guys, so I'm gonna be doing that. But yeah, this skill right here is gonna help you guys a lot. So we're gonna take a look at what you can unlock underneath it. You have these things called runes. Okay, you can craft these or fuse these to unlock extra skills, right? This skill right here is the best skill for this, or this rune is the best rune for this skill, and it's called Black Hole. All right, it literally sucks every one of them in. Like even the bosses, it would suck in, right, if they don't have their super defense active. And you can round all of them up and you can do big damage. Let's say you're running the scythe, that's going to do so much damage to every single one of them, right? If you have your plum sword, you use the full bloom, that's hitting every single one of them. If you have the sniper, that's hitting every single one of them. So this rune right here for this skill is very, very good. This is what you want to work towards, and that's the black hole. All right, when you're fusing them, all right, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the fusion in a second here. Actually, no, we're not gonna talk about that yet. We're gonna talk about that in a second, but just know there's runes and you can fuse them. All right, we're gonna talk about that after we talk about the next skills here. The next skill I would suggest you guys get, all right, is the Death's Dance here. This Death Dance is very, very, very good, and this is because it is a break skill, and it's a heavy break skill to a lot of these bosses. So obviously a lot of the bosses in the game have break gauge, and you need to break it so that we can do a lot more damage with your Sung JINWOO. As you can see, it does 511 damage of JINWOO's attack, so it does good damage, right? Actually, let's take a look at the core damage that it does, right? Actually, no, okay, no, that was the core damage. So 511 of JINWOO's attack, cooldowns 15 seconds, the MP consumption is 160. It deals light damage. That's the rune that I do have, I think. Actually, let me get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Okay, I was reading the complete wrong thing just now. Discard that. Damage almost 600% of JINWOO's attack. Cooldown is 15 seconds. MP is 160 seconds, and it deals heavy break damage. Again, this is one of the only ones that do heavy break for Sung Jinwoo in terms of his skill. Right, when the final hit lands, it's knocked down. So this skill is very good because it also has a long range. So for chapter 18 and chapter 18, a lot of the stages have bosses show up at the same exact time. Okay, literally the same exact time. So I believe the first one is 2 bosses that you have to fight, and they both have break gauge. And then the next one after that is 3 bosses that you have to fight at the same time. They all have break gauges. And the next one is 4 bosses, but you only have a limited time, and you have to break all their gauges. Okay, they're not at the same time. They pull up towards when you hit 30% of their HP, then the next one shows up. Then you're fighting 2 at the same time. You can fight all 4 at the same time if you leave all of them at 30%. So this skill does come in clutch along with the black hole, right? Because you round them up with the black hole, then you just use that skill, and you're doing a lot of damage and a lot of break gauge dealing when you use it. All right, it probably takes off like half of their break gauge. That's how good it is. Okay, so that one right there, again, they also have runes. We're gonna talk about that in depth here soon. I'll show you guys exactly how you want to craft them and how you want to fuse them, right? And what you do to fuse them. We're also going to talk about which levels you want to get them to. You really don't need to level them up, because once you fuse them, you probably will get dupes of things, and they actually count as a level. As you can see, the 6+6 here, that's how many times I've duped it, I think. I'm pretty sure. And actually how many times I've also leveled it up. So keep that in mind. The next one that you want to work on would be this new skill. Actually, this skill is very, very, very strong. Okay, this is his new skill that you get from doing the, what is it, the job change quest yet to get this outfit as well. So you have to beat Igris on hard mode, and you also have to have 70,000 battle power and level 55. However, you can also get lucky when you're fusing, and you can pull this skill before you actually get the job change quest. All right, so we can take a look at what it does. Let's unequip the rune here. So 615% of Jinwoo's attack. Cooldown is 20 seconds. MP consumption 204, so it's a little on the higher end in terms of the consumption. Deals almighty break damage. This is the only skill of the game that does almighty break damage. So you already know this is going to be doing a lot in terms of breaking the gauge, right? This inflicts the airborne effect when the skill hits. This also would probably proc your QTE skills here, because I believe you need to do airborne attacks for them to proc. So that's very good. Also, these do have runes as well. All the skills have runes, right? Again, we're going to go ahead and talk about that in a second. So that's one of the skills that you want to focus on. My biggest advice when it comes to leveling them up is try to maintain these resources, all right? So as you can see, these scrolls right here, they're actually pretty hard to get, all right? Even though they're blue, they're actually pretty hard to get. You can get it from the exchange shop, but I don't think you want to use that for these skills, all right? Because what you want to do is spread out how you're leveling up Sung Jinwoo skills, but don't neglect your hunter skills. All right, your hunters also use the same exact thing or resources that Sung Jinwoo himself uses. So I suggest you guys get these to level 4 or 5, right? And then fuse, and hopefully you pull dupes in them. And once you pull the dupes, you'll start to see you get stronger. It will also increase your battle power as well. We did talk about that in yesterday's video. So that's a very good skill. So the next one you would want to work on in terms of a break skill here. Okay, these are going to be the best 4 skills in the game, in my opinion, right? So Commander's Touch, this one, what's it called, the armor break, and then you have Death Dance, and then the next one would be Multi-Strike. Multi-Strike is very good. It does have AoE field as well. It does a similar thing to Death Dance, right? The only reason why Death Dance is a little better is because this does heavy break. Multi-Strike does medium break and a little less damage than the Death Dance, but it is very, very good, especially once you decide to put the runes on them. It becomes a lot better, right? Right now I'm using this because you get extra effects on them, right? We're gonna go ahead and talk about those in a second here. So those are the main 4 that I do think you would want to focus on in terms of usefulness in the game, right? I find myself using those a lot more than any of the other ones, right? So those are what you want to work on. In terms of the other ones, we're gonna go ahead and take a look. So skills like these, right? They do damage, but they don't do anything else, all right? This, I guess, is an AoE, so you can interrupt the bunch of enemies that's rushing towards you. But that's really all it does. I get the runes do give you extra effects, right? It does give you extra effects, as you can see. So that do make things good. These are what you call your DPS skills. These will do the most damage for you, all right? And a lot of the runes also do give you skills. Not skills, but like effects. Like some of them will give you defense down, attack up, but only for a limited amount of time. All right, they are good. All right, these skills are very good, but they're just not as useful as the break skills, the black hole that rounds everything up, so that way you can use your break skill and just do everything, like do all your ults with like your scythe or the plum sword or any of your ults that you have to deal massive damage, right? So this would be probably the next best one. Would probably be this one right here, right? The vital strike. But you have to unlock the rune for these. I'm telling you guys, without the runes, they're not that good. With the runes, they become very good, and that's because, as you can see, like for example, internal wound here, damage 391%, 15 seconds cooldown, 155 MP consumption. Airborne effect. When the skill hits, it decreases the target's defense by 15% for 12 seconds. That's the main part that you want to talk about right there, is the 15-second defense and the just the effects that it does give. So this one, damage dealt to bosses and elite monsters increased by 45%, right? That's where it becomes useful, and it's in the rune. But in terms of just skills itself, it's not that good, okay? It's not that good. And the others, you don't really have to focus on. They're decent, all right? They're decent. Medium blow on the multi-strike is a lot better than this one, in my opinion. It's a lot better on this one. But yeah, those are the main skills that you do want to work on for now. In my opinion, it's going to be those 4 that we talked about in the beginning. And the other ones, as you try to craft for, or fuse for these right here, you'll end up getting the other ones as you go. So you don't have to focus on those. You don't have to level those up at all. Focus mainly on leveling up your Commander's Touch, Almighty Break, Death's Dance, and the multi-strike, okay? Now we're going to talk about the fusion section, all right? So let's go ahead and go to the fusion section. This is where you're going to fuse your skills. As you can see, it says Skill Rune Fragment. You also can craft your blessing stones here. If you guys want to see a blessing stone video, which ones are like good and which ones are bad, let me know in the comments. I'll definitely have a video out on that as well, depending on how many people want to see it, right? So Skill Rune Fragment here, you have it right here. This is what it looks like. You can get this from the shop, the exchange shop. You can get it from doing gates. You can do it saves in your inventory. You can get it from doing like those gacha boxes, right? You can get it from the shop for where the bonus is. Obviously, this is for free, not free to play. This section, the bonus shop section, is for people that spend. All right, so if you're free to play, don't even bother with the this bonus section. You go to the celebration coin exchange section as well. If you're summoning on the special draw banner, which is what Chahain is, you get these medals right here. That will give you these rune fragments. I don't suggest using those on this, all right? There's other better rewards you can use them for, and I suggest using on those. Right now, they're locked for me, so I can't really remember what they are. Actually, it literally tells you right, skill scroll. So these are what I decided to buy with those. You know what's crazy? I said not to buy those, but I have it purchased right here. Okay, guys, listen. I bought it so I can test it for you guys, okay? Don't buy that from here. Save it for something else like this. This is very rare to get, right? I only have 5 of these. I have not used this once, okay? I have not used it, and I only have 5. So save it for these type of things, right? And yeah, that's how you get the rune fragment here. I wish I could give you guys like an example of what like I could craft from here. But after you craft it, it'll then take you to a section here. You can craft these as well, where you get your, this is where you get your epic skill rune, or where you can get your epic skill rune, right? So you can craft, if you craft the top one up here, you'll get one, or if you have many, you can do simple fusion and then craft as many as you can, depending on how many of these you do have, right? And then you go down here, you can auto select, and if you have 3 of them, you go down here, you click fuse, and then it gives you a success rate here, a super success rate. The higher it is, the better rune that you will get, right? So keep that in mind as well. You can, I haven't done a single legendary skill rune in this game, all right? Not a single one. So I don't think it's as useful right now. You really don't need it, but eventually you'll be able to, when you get to a certain point in the game, you'll be able to craft a bunch of legendary skill runes. So yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of which skills you want to focus on. Again, it's going to be Death Dance, the Black Hole skill, specifically the Black Hole, well, Commander's Touch they call it, but the Black Hole for it is very, very, very strong. Almighty Break here, or the Armor Break, which gives you an Almighty Break, is going to be the next one, and then it's going to be a Multi-Strike, okay? So those are going to be the best ones that you do want to work on. We can take a look at what the runes do real quick for each, so that you guys know what to focus on, right? As you can see, they also have elemental things on it as well, right? So you have elemental runes. So if a boss is weak to water, you can run the water. If they're weak to fire, run the fire, and so on, right? So if you take a look at what each of them do, so we already know you get a little bit of damage buff as well. So 433% of JINWOO's attack, 10-second cooldown, at 104 MP consumption, medium break. When the final... Guys, I'm literally reading the same exact thing. Hold on, my bad. Let's click this. 560, there's the damage boost. 560% of JINWOO's attack. Cooldown is 10 seconds, 104 magic consumption. Deals water elemental damage, and it deals medium break. When the final hit lands, inflicts the airborne effect. This is what we are looking for here. What it does at the final section is, when using the skill, increase the damage of crushing blow by 10% for 10 seconds. When the final hit lands, deals weak break damage for 3 seconds, for every 3 seconds, for 9 seconds. All right, so crushing blow is this one. So you do extra break damage for crushing blow when you run this as well, right? So that's good. For fire, we have percussion. Damage is 544% of JINWOO's attack. Cooldown 10 seconds, 104. So that's never going to change. So we're going to skip that every time. We just want to take a look at what it does in terms of the effect, right? So damage dealt to bosses and elite monsters increased by 30%. That's very good. Dark here, every time this skill hits, increases damage by 2%, stacks up to 2 times. When this skill hits, it resets the cooldown of Dagger Toss. So you can use skills in conjunction together, right? So this right here, Dagger Toss is this, right? Dagger Toss is actually not that good, to be honest with you. Don't even pay attention to Dagger Toss. I've never once upgraded it. All of it came from farming skill rune, or rune fragments to unlock the skills, right? The last one here, which is what I was using in chapter 18 because they're weak to light. You have the user gains super armor while using this skill. When this skill is used, increase critical hit rate by 3% for 8 seconds. When this skill hits, resets cooldown. Cooldown is 20 seconds. All right, so that's very, very strong. Death Dance, same thing, right? You have different elements. You have the light element right here. When this skill is used, increase critical hit damage by 20% for 8 seconds. When this skill hits, it resets the cooldown of the Commander's Touch. Cooldown is 45 seconds, all right? So again, when this skill is used, critical hit damage is increased by 20%. That's very, very, very good, especially now that they fixed crit damage in the game. I remember it was broken before, but they fixed it, so that's very, very good. Wind damage here, this is going to be good against the new Battlefield of Time Kargalgan that's out. So if you guys have this, use it. It's going to be good for you. It deals weak break, unfortunately, but it's still a wind element upgrade, right? So definitely use that. What does it say here? The power gauge is recharged by 1% when you are hit. It's actually not that good. Don't use it actually. It's pretty bad. The fact that it is wind is why I would say it's good, but it's not that good. Dark here we have damage dealt to bosses and elite monsters increased by 45%. Very good. Very good. Fire. The damage increases by 20% when attacking enemies with their elemental weakness. That's very, 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 very good. Okay. And the Commander's Touch. We're only going to be talking about Black Hole for this one, because Black Hole honestly is just in a tier of its own when it comes to how good and useful it actually is, right? So damage 43.4% of JINWOO's attack. Depending on the number of targets this skill hits, increases damage dealt to normal monsters by 15% up to 10 targets. All right, there's never going to be more than 10 targets when there's a wave of enemies, right? So this is probably the best skill in the game for him because of its usefulness. Okay, the other ones we're not going to talk about because they do similar things. This one is what you're going to want to farm for. Almighty Break here, or Armor Break, sorry. This one is the only one I have unlocked right now, so this is what we're going to be talking about. When this skill is used, increase critical hit damage by 30% for 5 seconds. The light one is also pretty good. When used, increases defense by 10% for 30 seconds. Wind here. When this skill hits, increases the target's damage taken by 7% for 12 seconds. When using the skill, increases the damage of vertical arts by 10%. Water here, this is... Does this freeze? It does. This is a freeze right here. Let's take a look at that real quick. Let's take a look at it. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. Anything that freezes, you already know I'm in there. You already know I am in there. When this skill rune is registered in the codex, skill of the armor break increases by 1. So that's pretty good. Okay, so that's pretty much all of it, guys. That's everything that I could talk about. Let me know if I missed something. If you guys disagree with it, if you agree with it, let me know in the comments. We'll have a conversation about it. But in my opinion, those are the best skills that you want to work on in this game right now. The others will come over time as you are farming for your rune fragment and you use the fuse section, so you'll definitely be able to get those. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe. Again, join the Discord if you are interested in talking to me and just making friends and just talking to a community as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.